do.
Coddle our roaches. All right, so it already doesn't like streaming one. Why not?
Oh man, Matt, I need to borrow $1 million.
We're recording on one of them. You want to borrow $1 million?
What's going on? We're on already?
No, it's. I already changed this. Oh, this rumble thing.
Oh, we're gonna rumble. That's for sure. I'm definitely gonna rumble.
Good.
Is that?
We're on. We should be on YouTube.
It's not Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's Blackbeard.
Blackbeard. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Is that his parakeet?
And he wasn't that. No, all those pistols on him.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't actually the sweetest guy.
No.
No, but
He's a real. He's real though, right?
yeah, I think he was up.
All right.
Carolinas.
Number 1 is starting, and it's up.
Really?
All
You know
right.
about his beard. And
That's on.
Put tar in it, and he put the wicks in there.
No
Music
way.
time.
So when they fight on ships at night, he'd have that tar in his beard, the wicks from the cannons, and light it.
Don't wear your hair low, don't keep your eyes closed, 'cause there's some trouble right where you at. I made some mistakes, so take it from me. You better move on right down the track. Let's keep a left foot heavy on the pedal. Don't let them catch you settle. Since you don't know how to act, run your mouth, don't look back.
It's a good tune.
I knew this one girl, blue eyes and blonde curls. I took her home one day just the week before. I knew she had a man, but no, I didn't plan to have my face pressed against a 44. But then it went click, and then I thought quick.
Okay. That's a good time.
That's good stuff.
And then it went click, and I thought quick.
Come, Lord Jesus.
Come, Lord Jesus. Do you know what's great about that? That's
His hair. His hair.
E to G, E to G.
Uh-huh.
And the first time that I knew of that was Nirvana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a Nirvana song. So
Cobain.
recycled Nirvana 30 years later into a country song.
He's got some good twang in his voice going on.
I think they're opening up Kurt's case again, aren't they?
Cobain?
Mhm.
Why? What
They're
happened?
trying to figure out how he got that shotgun with his toe.
Yeah.
He got shot?
He shot himself with a
supposedly shot
shotgun.
Oh, with his toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had enough heroin in his system to kill like 10 elephants.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's another George Floyd thing.
Yeah. He's been gone for a while, though. Shouldn't that be declassified by now?
I don't really think it was classified.
It was
Unsolved.
unsolved.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Nobody cared enough. Who cares?
I'm just wondering who shot JFK. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
I think about 30 CIA agents,
I would imagine.
and 28 of them missed.
I was going to say only 1 or 2 hit the
Yeah.
target.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the guy who made an attempt at Trump was a better shot.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was just a kid. Yeah. All right. Well, it's not Friday. As you can see, it's Thursday evening. This is Uneducated. Acts 4 tells us that when the disciples went before the Sanhedrin and they were being interrogated for their faith, it says that they realized that they were uneducated men, but they had been with Jesus. And so that's all we are trying to do, is to learn from our Master Christ, learn how to live life, learn how to be the guys that we're supposed to be. And so we figured this show would be a good place to spend some time talking about things in the world, things about in life, and then trying to bring them back to the scriptures and make some sense out of them. So if you're on tonight, make sure you comment and make sure you tag us and do whatever else you're supposed to do to help us. I don't know what else. We used to tell people what to do. Hit the like button if you like it. What else were they supposed to do? I can't remember, Matt. Subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Yeah.
Donate.
Donate if you want to donate.
If you're walking and you see a cat, kick it.
Yeah.
Kick a cat.
If you see a donut,
Eat it.
We're trying to have a better podcast, but we need better equipment.
we do. Yeah. So if you want to donate, go to brandonspecialcase.com.
Right.
All right. So tonight we're going to try to tackle the topic of sound and worship and music and Christianity. And,
How frequently do you check your frequency?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's my title.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so those of you that are joining us tonight, we're going to be talking about music and sound. And so we're going to jump right in. Brandon sent us a video. Actually, I think he might have just sent me the video.
I think I sent it to everybody.
Did you? Anyway, sent us this video of this lady who has written a book. She was in an interview on a podcast, and she's talking about, I think they called it the War on Frequencies or something like that. And she was talking about the significance of frequencies and how certain frequencies are not good. And I think she said since 1939, when they had some kind of a big meeting, the powers that be, that they changed all the frequencies to 440 hertz, I think is the number, and supposedly that's been wreaking havoc on in our lives since then. And so we'll talk a little bit about that and see. And then she said that some people.
Did you send me Did you send me the link?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Frequency lady.
Yeah, Church NEC. I should have. Yeah, it should be there.
It's not here. I mean, is that kind of where we want to start?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah,
Yeah, we're on
440 was settled upon. You know, you don't think about these things, but prior to advanced communications and the ability to connect really fast with people on a regular basis, have heat control, climate controlled rooms with instruments, and to make devices that can repeat performance regularly on a mass scale that everybody can have one. Mm-hmm. Prior to all of that, concert A was willy-nilly.
Okay, can you explain, just real quick, explain it, because I don't know that much. What's Concert A?
Concert A is where we take all the instruments, whether they're woodwind and brass, strings, timpanis, like a tunable drum. Okay. Anything that you can tune to a tone, we say at 440 hertz, the vibration of the instrument. The instrument works because of vibration.
Okay.
And it's 440 times a second. Okay.
Okay.
So when
that
we
thing's
say
vibrating 440
whatever it
times a
is,
second.
if it's a drum head, if it's a string, if it's your lips playing an A and a trumpet, whatever it is,
Okay.
you are going to play 440 concert pitch.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Then from there, B is a different frequency, C is but what that means is then all of your it's a whole tone, right? So like A to B is a whole tone, B to C is a half tone. But you can determine what the frequency should be.
Okay.
Prior to modern electronics and the ability to repeat things and pass things out on a mass scale, called tuners,
Okay.
in the 1800s, only your really sophisticated in music knower people or the educated colleges, they would have tuning forks. You would buy, and they would say, this is 440. Now, prior to the League of Nations and
You're talking Marvel Comics, League of Nations?
no, there was the League of Nations, and then there was
United Nations.
United Nations.
Okay.
Prior to all that stuff, when they got involved, England might have Concert A 432.
Okay.
And United States Symphony may have A 440.
Okay.
And so on and so on. And somebody just said, listen, so that all music around the world is tuned the same, we're going to say A 440 is where it's at.
Okay.
So the conspiracy theory is that they picked a demonic one.
Okay. One that's destructive or can be used to
Create anxiety and nervousness.
yeah, to create things in people that
Yeah.
are not that's not good.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the theory.
And I know you're not about conspiracy at all.
Tons. I love it.
Okay. All right.
This is one I don't chew on.
Okay. All right.
This is
Which
one,
which is kind of like
this
ironic.
is one
to
where
me.
I say this dog doesn't hunt.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna find out about this.
Okay. All right. So all right, you just still have.
I sent it twice now.
All right. Let me
Church NEC, right? That's where you're at.
Yeah.
It should be there, bro.
Or no, I'm back at you.
No, see. Well, see, I always get blamed, but can I just say it's usually my fault?
No, I can just click now. I got her.
Okay.
Here we are.
All right. So then in like so that was like 1939 that lady said that happened with the Rothschilds and all that junk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. After a lot of this stuff, it was after World War II
Okay. All right.
when we started getting together and saying, "Hey, a one world system sounds really great."
Actually, I thought she said it was right before.
Well, it could be. I mean, it's in that time frame.
Okay.
We had modern production. We had communications around the world with, fairly instantaneously. It was as the world is modernized.
Yeah. Okay.
Hitler was said to use
440.
440 in his speeches and for propaganda to the people.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting.
All right.
Go.
That's where we're going.
We're supposed to be. Why isn't it?
We'll just hit.
I've been watching a lot.
Is selling their allegiance to
Is it good?
Satan. Therefore, they're
All right. So where do you want to go?
I don't know. I don't have a time. Well, maybe I do have a timestamp.
Like, do you want our opening?
Yeah. Let's.
very exciting. And you were episode, if I remember correctly, I'm looking it up right now, but if I remember correctly, you were episode 510, if I remember correctly. 508.
Can we hit her
episode
at like
508, we called it
2034?
Nephilim Mind Virus.
What's that?
Hit her at like 20:34. 20 minutes, 34 seconds into it. Yeah, somewhere around there's fine.
Most powerful man in the known world, the most powerful ruler, and they stood their ground. They did not give in. They could have tried to sweet talk their way out of trouble, but they didn't. They told Nebuchadnezzar straight up, "We will not bow a knee to that golden image, even if it means being thrown in the fiery furnace." Well, that's because they trusted in God to deliver him or to deliver them. And even if he didn't, they still would not defile themselves. And this is a display of what it looks like to be single-hearted. See, they were only after pleasing the Lord because they had an audience of one. And I believe, this is the position we're to take in this war of frequencies so that we're not overcome by the weaponization of music.
Can I just say something real quick?
So
What she was talking about is that story of the three Hebrew children when they said every time you hear the harp and the flute play, you're to bow down and worship.
Okay.
And so she was connecting that sound and frequency as a call.
So did she capture those instruments?
No, she didn't. She didn't get the
Is
frequency.
it written down what
No,
the frequency
it's not.
was?
It's not. No, I get it. I'm with you.
I mean, if I rang a triangle and said
Yeah.
you will bow when this triangle dings,
Right, I get it.
does that make a difference?
No, I get it.
No.
I get it.
Okay, anyway, go.
But she
Moving on.
But so ultimately, I think this is going to wrap up when we get to the end.
Yep.
This comes back to the fact that ultimately their focus was to obey God and not Nebuchadnezzar.
Yes.
Whether it was music or what it was.
Right.
Okay. Every time you see the pumpkin, drop, you have to do this. So it wouldn't matter.
Right.
They were just going to obey God.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Where are we going to go now?
Take her. You can just. She'll slip in there at like 2:20. Yeah, right there.
Them into marriage, they sexually defiled them and impregnated them,
That's a good
defiling
place.
their
Good
human
place.
genome because essentially they became impregnated with a hybrid race of giants known as the Nephilim. So the Seed War is the longest standing consecutive war in history. It's still being played out today. And that's a lot of what I go into in my book, Generation Hoodwinked. In my first book, The Roots of the Federal Reserve, I trace the Nephilim agenda from the days of Noah all the way to our current debt enslavement we call the Federal Reserve. And then
Wow, she really weaves
in
them all
my
together.
second book, what I do is I unpack all these different narratives that have enslaved us in
I'm gonna have
being
to watch this
hoodwinked
now.
by this Nephilim agenda.
It's not bad.
So, with the Seed War then in place here, how is it that, you know, the idea of music or sound frequencies can be actually used as a weapon in this war?
Okay, so this is good.
Well,
Here we
so
go.
if we go back a little bit in history, sound frequencies have been used to create mass hysteria and herd behavior for almost a century now. So back in the 1930s, the Rothschild-Rockefeller Alliance, they began funding scientific studies examining how musical frequencies could prepare the masses for war. Well, in 1938, there was a theatrical designer and sound engineer. His name is Harold Burris Meyer. And he began working on sound technology that would control the emotional response of audiences and to create mass hysteria. Well, Dr. Leonard Horowitz, he has this book called The Book of 528, Prosperity Key of Love. And he dove into the archives of the Rockefeller Foundation and looked at some of their research. And he writes this: the Rockefeller Foundation archives showed their research is focused on psychotronic warfare, physiological stress induction, negative affective emotional arousal, mass persuasion, herd behavior, and population control. People's bodies would bioenergetically entrain to the musical frequencies and electronically engineered sound effects that would be most emotionally charged, causing people to act in certain.
Okay, so obviously she's making a case that there was this point in time
Okay, but no, go ahead. You go.
where the frequencies were being studied and then used to control populations of people.
Sure.
So that's what she's talking about. Okay.
Sure.
Manipulate.
Yeah. So my so my thought is this: that's not too far fetched from like MK Ultra, Project Blue Book, all these other government projects and things that people have done over the years.
Sure.
The question then is though, is 440 a demonic frequency? Do frequencies have powers? Is that unseen thing that's floating through the air? Is it able to do things that we don't know? And if so, can people use it for good or evil? Or, so those are some of the questions I think she's...
I love where you're going here. I want to play a little something for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
It better not be evil. That's good.
Okay.
I'm going to jump.
You want it? Doesn't it make you like, yeah, let's go? Especially when this song was hip.
Yeah,
This was at every party.
it was.
There was red cups going everywhere.
It was.
There was burnouts in the streets.
Yeah.
Off the chain.
Yeah.
You think these people care about 440?
Well,
You know what it is? It's the bass. It's the thing. It's that scream. Bam. Listen.
all right. So Brad is gonna.
Go ahead.
But we have an agreement here that that beat or that song gives us an emotion and makes us feel different.
But if you, I guess the
That's-
argument would
that's-
be
that-
then
that's
if,
the
if
whole
I
thing.
wrote that song, if
That's-
we recorded that song
That's the whole case here.
in a 444, it'd make it a good song.
And maybe they're off with their frequencies, but there's something to music and sound
That's
having an effect on
that's
emotions.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
And it,
That's
whether
it.
it's 440, 720, 320, this, who cares about that? But
You're coming around to my point of view now. Thanks.
yeah. But there's
Music, obviously.
there's something to it. It's not just music, it's sound too. Let's go there.
Well, if we break it down in its purest form, yeah. But if all right, so like that obviously was thrilling, and if we had Jim here, I think he probably would have broke it down.
He would have jumped.
But now, if I had my old man here or my Uncle Gary, they'd be like, "Will you turn that crap off?
Yeah, they hate
That's
it.
driving me insane."
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A different frequency could
So-
affect a different individual.
Like
Definitely.
if we go, well, that's what I'm saying. So you want to break it all the way down to sound? I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But if I go stand in the driveway and just pound the same note out on a shofar, which is a ram's horn that the Israelites would use, is that gonna invoke a holy war? Are you gonna grab your Bible and run out and proselytize the word of God?
No, but
No.
is it gonna get, if he does it enough, is it gonna give you an emotion where you feel?
It may make
Hey.
you want to punch somebody.
There you go.
If you've ever heard a shofar.
There you go.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. It's creating emotion, and
I don't
something.
think anybody would argue that this creates those things.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fight you on this.
yeah,
Let's do it. Fight.
No, I guess where I'm at is what I'm saying is the music itself and how it's constructed and how it's
she's not just talking about music though.
she's
She's
going
talking
on
about sound and frequency.
frequency. So well, I guess again, it would be saying that if I took House of Pain, Jump Around, and moved it up to A444, it'd be cool.
Not cool, but it might have different properties to it. Maybe. Would it still be cool? You mean? It should still be cool.
I guess what I'm saying is it's like
That's what she's saying. All right, so let me read this. Brandon and I looked this up here just before we come in. Let me read this. So David has beaten. No, he hasn't. Okay. So David has been called into Saul's chamber because Saul has had the Spirit of the Lord taken from him. And there's this weird thing that happens that it says that the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul and an evil spirit from the Lord terrorized him. So then later it says that his servants were like, "Hey, we're going to go get someone to come and play the harp, and when they play the harp, you'll be okay." So it says here that the Lord now let our Lord now command your servants who are before you, let them seek a man who is a skillful player on the harp, and it shall come about when the evil spirit from God is on you, that he shall play the harp with his hand, and you will be well. So Saul said to his servant, "Provide for me now a man who can play well, and bring him to me." Then one of the young men said, "Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, who is a skillful musician, a mighty man of valor, a warrior, one prudent in speech, and a handsome man, and the Lord is with him." So Saul, and I think that's key, the Lord is with him, so we'll just keep that in mind for context's sake. So Saul sent messengers to Jesse and said, "Send me your son David, who is with you in the flock." And so I'll just jump down here. Verse 23, so it came about whenever the evil spirit from God came to Saul, David would take the harp and play it with his hand, and Saul would be refreshed and be well, and the evil spirit would depart from him. Now, I would tend to venture that it's because the Lord was with David.
I would go with that.
I agree, but he's also using.
It's like saying that the tiny rock that he used to kill Goliath is the magical rock that we need to use.
Right.
Not that
Right.
David was a man of faith and God slew Goliath.
It would be neat if we could find that rock, though.
Yeah. We should only
There's some
use,
cool theory about that.
we
too.
should only use tiny
I'll
rocks.
send you.
About the rock? Did someone find it?
No,
It's got DNA of Goliath on it.
no.
I'm really bummed
yeah.
because when I was
But-
jumping around like an idiot,
Yeah.
I had the camera on you the whole time.
On me?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude.
I think God using that harp is no different than God letting us use this to. do
I
something.
would agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a tool,
Yeah.
and it provided something. Helped provide something to
Calm him or
calm him, or take that demon out of there.
yeah.
Because he specifically said a harp. He didn't say, "Hey, say this or play the spoons,"
Right.
or
Yeah. So real quick, of all the stuff we got into so far, is anybody online commenting? Because we might want to.
Somebody was just wondering where the show's on. Why is the show's on a different day?
Tell them because we don't have our act together.
Yeah, we not everybody's available on Friday, so occasionally we will be around on Thursday. It's Christina and Tal from California, my in-laws.
Okay. What time is it in California right now?
3 hours before, so 4:51.
Okay.
So, back on this topic, I don't think we could go through this experiment if you want.
I think it'd be fun.
Okay. So, what we have here is the ability to. This is right now tuned to A440.
Okay.
The standard tuning.
Okay. I feel like I want to beat someone right now.
See what? Oh, is it? So it's already affecting you
Uh-huh.
that much.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. All right, let me see if I did this right. So I now have concert A on this tuner.
Okay. And concert A is 444?
Let me make sure I'm doing this right.
And while Matt is doing
Tuner.
this, we'd just like to give a shout out to our sponsor.
It's not even really noticing the huge difference.
Do we have a sponsor? Brandon, do we have a sponsor?
No, but we could.
Mac Plumbing. We're
Bob.
Huh?
We're going to have Bob sponsor us.
Yeah.
We need to.
All right. Tell him we'll put.
I mean, it's not even really registering the difference.
Seriously?
I'm tuning it just. You have to think about it. This string is vibrating 440 times a second.
And now you're doing.
We're going to go 4 more vibrations in a second.
Okay.
How big of a change do you think that is?
But that's the thing, Matt. It's only a little change
Okay.
that can make the difference.
You ready?
Yeah.
We're going to hear the change.
All right. I can feel it. You can. I think I can hear it. Seriously.
Higher.
Maybe.
But I'm going to say if you put that on in your car,
Yeah.
you can't tell me. I would think that if this made such a profound impact, that when you heard, all right, here's an experiment. You guys focus on going on. You have to go to YouTube and you can find these things. Find songs that are in the key that you're the hertz you want.
But here.
Only listen to that for a week.
Okay.
Then the next week, I want you to listen to nothing.
It's at the hertz of what the propaganda is being put out. You know what I mean? Like
The 400.
the 400 or the 440 or whatever.
And here's what you need to watch this
Wait,
video.
wait. Okay.
It's not just 400 hertz makes everybody nuts.
Makes me nuts.
It's probably the propaganda that's behind the 440 hertz.
Okay, so is there propaganda there?
I know we're not just talking about music, though, is the thing.
It's also the words that are being used.
It's the words that are being used, the
I
sound.
don't think that'd be a little more impactful
Yeah, well, we're gonna
if you
get to that.
understand the meaning of words.
We're gonna get to that theology part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Tell me to do something. Like play that
That's
guitar
what I'm saying. You got to watch the video.
and tell me to do something like bad and see if it happens.
Oh my goodness.
No, we're not gonna do
Okay,
that.
so I'll even let's go. And we're in 444.
Okay. We're in the good stuff.
We're in the good frequency now.
And
How about if I play this?
There is a house.
Yeah.
Can you play cocaine, please?
But that sounds more like chocolate cake. instead of that.
I thought I knew House of the Rising Sun. No, it's not G.
Pink Floyd. Give us some Pink Floyd.
Is it better than 440?
I think it is. I actually feel calm right now. All right, all instruments need to be tuned to 440 now.
And I'm pretty sure that that they talk about this being theory and not fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Through the video.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of cool too.
Yeah, and if you watch this to the end, like she'll even say, like you said, take a week. She actually says, don't go online and try to find things that are at 444. Because she said a lot of the stuff is new age.
Oh, it's been rigged.
Well, she said it's new age spiritualism.
Yeah.
So she understands
Because they're into this crap.
Right. So here's my question then, and now we can maybe transition and then we work it all together.
Do you have a better understanding of what we're talking about?
I do.
now?
I do. But we can make the transition now and go to this. My thought then is it so much the frequency as it is?
Yes, Christina, we were playing Jump Around.
Is the stuff that's going out with the frequency? Like, does the frequency have the power to mesmerize or manipulate people with what you're saying or what you're trying to?
It can add to
say.
Don't you think if it was that important, when God told Noah how to build the ark, he gave him dimensions. So don't you think if it was that important, God would say, he said, don't mess with makeup, don't mess with jewelry, stay away from arts of war. Maybe you should tune your music to 444.
Is that in there?
No,
Oh, it's not.
That's what I'm saying. I would think he would be like, David, my sweet David, my instrument on earth. You only play the proper frequency to me, and my ears are so pleased. There's nothing like that. There's nothing to me. This is almost fabricated.
Okay, to a degree, I can see that it's easy for people to fabricate. But
Or you would have to borrow from New Ageism.
So
You'd have to borrow from New Ageism proper frequencies to make you happy.
I think it's so fabricated that we use frequency to bust up
Kidney stones?
kidney stones.
Yeah, sonic weld plastic.
Yeah, I think that's fake.
But I can watch it, and it's not.
But just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is that's just frequency and science. We're now trying to ascribe. Okay.
Well, there's something.
We're trying to ascribe something to the holy. Like when I'm busting up a kidney stone, I'm just using what I know about sound technology to bust up a kidney stone or weld plastic or make a guitar work. I'm not trying to say God likes this.
Well, it's not. It might not be necessarily that God likes it, but is it possible that there are scientific or mechanical things that are happening within that frequency that could help?
Yeah.
Or detract?
I'll give it to you.
Maybe.
I'll give it to you. I'll throw it at you. But I'll go back to I listen to music incessantly. I would think there would be I would think if it was that horrible, wouldn't you go gosh, I'm always sick to my stomach, or I always want to punch a window, or.
But some people that listen to that, like some music, they are.
But I don't think you can put it to. I just don't think you can do it to A440.
And again, she's not saying it's everybody gets affected by it. It could be. There could be something with frequency and sound that affects.
Okay. I'm going about this the wrong way.
You're trying to convince?
You can have it. You're right. Now what? What are we going to do now?
Now we deal with Bethel.
What do you mean?
You're right. This is a bad frequency.
It's,
Let's fix it. What are we gonna do?
Put forward.
I'm on the side of they don't know the frequency, because then you get into binaural beats, and you listen to all these different sounds helping for anxiety and this and that. But then Cleveland Clinic is giving us binaural beats to heal cancer. So that's what's interesting, is they're using it for they're using it for something.
If someone has anxiety, we should recommend that they take a Bible
I agree.
and sit down
Yeah, but we're
and
not.
pray,
We're not, and they're using
and
this.
then read the Word, and then pray, and then read the Word, and then pray, and give them some scriptures about anxiety, and give them some scriptures about how the Lord is there for them.
That doesn't happen.
The clinic's not going to, but the Cleveland Clinic's not
Yeah.
going to do that.
We're saying this.
But the
could-
Cleveland Clinic is looking at
Yoga.
anything.
I know.
They're looking at literally anything
except
except the thing
this.
that is the answer.
Yeah,
Right.
we're just saying something, that there's something with the sound and frequency, and it works mysteriously, right?
I'm not going to say that you're wrong, because I can't say you're any more wrong than I am right.
Right.
But, like, I don't know. I want to have a point to what in the world I'm arguing, and now I feel like I'm arguing with a jellyfish.
Yeah, because we're squirming all over the place with you.
Yeah, now it's kind of like,
All right.
no, it's okay, I get it. And then it's kind of like, is this good? I want to know in my life, is this good or is this bad?
I don't think we know. We're not saying music's bad. We're saying
No, I listen, I think some music is bad.
But it's probably more the words than it
I
is
think
the
it's
beat.
more the words and the music and the tone or the style or
I would.
the energy that you are putting behind it. I would say that the energy that you are using to make a song a certain way will affect the person more than the frequency.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down with that too.
I think we're at. This is interesting. I'm not saying it's not interesting. I've looked at this myself like 5 years ago. I was doing all kinds of stuff in this, and I've tuned. I don't remember if I tuned up as high as 529. I know I went down to some of the lower ones, like top of the 380s. And it's darker, it's muddier, but you would expect it to be. You have less vibrations, and you're down where the mechanical parts of the guitar are like, ugh. But then I start to say, like, well, of all the things that we know about Satan, why wouldn't he go totally one way or another? And so, like, is that what drop C is? Should we make an argument against all the bands who are doing drop C?
No.
And no, of course not.
I'm saying we don't know. We're just saying there's something to sound.
Well, yeah, and here's what I think, Matt. If you'd be willing to give us another thing, and I think, Brandon, it may have to do with frequency. Matt's going to say, because it's not going to change the frequency, but he's talking about how, like, Christian music now uses a different, what's it called, scale or?
Well, there's just, to me, it's how you hammer out music.
Okay.
Again, the person that created it, the invoking, and again, you have to have somebody that gives a crap about what you're playing. Like, you don't care about what goes up on the stage on Sundays, so it's not going to affect you. But for people who come here, if I'm beating away, I felt almost like I had to apologize that Sunday we did that hymn.
Yeah.
And it was really long, remember? And I thanked everybody for hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
But if you listen to the words of that song,
Yeah.
the theology is ridiculous.
Right.
And it is
Not ridiculous meaning bad, ridiculously good.
like profound.
Yeah.
Okay. The theology is profound. The praise to God is profound. If you think about what the author's talking about, but it's in sevenths and it's in jangly old time piano type. hymn structure, like when there was only one instrument or no instruments at all,
Yeah.
so that everybody could sing along to the same song.
Right.
Because what was important was that everybody sang the words, the song together.
Right.
It had some semblance of cohesion, and that everybody was getting that theology at the same time.
Yeah.
And praising God at the same time.
Right.
And so now what we've stepped into is like, well, I don't really like that. That's not really pleasing.
Right.
We've changed, we've now figured out chord structure to songs that invoke like, oh, I'm on a mountain. I'm
That's kind
airy.
of where we're getting a little bit. But
No, it's not, because
It's different than frequency, though. That's what I wanted him to talk. Can you show Brandon the difference between?
all right. So you already know we're at the 440, which is supposed to be a better frequency, but like if we play, if we just play major chords. They have a sound, but it's
Yeah.
it's a thing.
Right.
You're not going to bring that to here on Sunday morning.
Okay.
You're going to bring
depression.
well, you might say depression, and this is where not frequency,
Sound.
but the structure is bothering you. But I will tell you, for most other people, that's what keys them in. Or the thing that I played earlier with the minor seventh. All songs almost always now are. The four chords. And it's got some kind of minor sharp something seventh. And then there'll be a bridge that repeats over and over with, a back and forth of a something and whatever. But they have figured out that over the majority of people, they'll remember the words.
And this is more pleasing.
And this is pleasant. This is pleasing to most people will accept.
So let's write a book that it's not frequency, it's the pleasingness of the chords. Let's write a book about that.
Well, and again, okay.
Well, that's what's interesting. That sound or tone or whatever creates that for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Because then it's not the words anymore. It's that sound that they're falling in love with. So let's transition.
That's
then.
where I'm kind of maybe getting and not explaining it right.
Yeah, because I think we're all kind of on the same page. Like we're not all like, oh, we got to do a frequency.
Well, let's just say
but-
all right. Where I'm living, and you listen. I've been talking to you about this for years. I've been exploring these ideas about what we do for worship and who we got copy and emulate.
Right.
And we still have to get to the Bethel thing.
Yeah.
But we really have like a 2010 Jesus culture. Mm-hmm. Like that's all that was out of my house. And it was like, wow, what is this stuff? Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't like it, but the majority of the people, it was the ambient, new agey, like, man, we hooked onto this.
Yeah.
Feel good. Like, I could put this on in the background and be calm.
Right.
Or I can repetitively say things, and I'm going to call this praise. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so let's go at it's not frequency. Because I could play Jesus Culture at 532, I could play Jesus Culture at 444. Mm-hmm. And I just showed you between 440 and 444, we really can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
So I really the frequency thing.
Maybe
I mean, if you want to say we're getting bombarded, they can hide signals behind ultra high frequencies that we can't see, and they're shooting those through the TV. You're going to get me on board with that way faster than what we're talking about here with music.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right. So Brandon, I don't know if you got a chance to watch that video, but we'll take a stab unless there's some things is there any comments we need to address or no, we're good.
No, we're good.
All right, let's take a stab at this other video real quick, and we'll just interject here. It's only like what, a 4 or 6 minute video. We'll just watch a few. We'll watch a little bit and then we'll interject.
I gotta find it.
So
No, I have it here. Here it is.
Music going down a spiral and I guess less theologically grounded and perhaps other issues. I'd like to know, given that you specialize in deconstruction, how does that fit
What's
into-
funny about this?
there's an ambient.
Do you
sound
hear
in
the
background.
ambient thing? That in the back.
Hey, what is that?
That it's a note somebody's playing. That they're putting on all this stuff, and so that if you want to win, here's your win. Obviously, but that's going to be a C. Like that's a C or a usually.
So it could be more just the chords than the vibration, even.
That's what I'm saying is like it's the whole entirety of the thing. One note by itself doesn't capture the heart or the soul anymore. Mm-hmm. It has to be multiple sounds. That's why I don't really think
Whatever.
in the 60s the guitar solo was king. Like everybody wanted a gigantic guitar solo in the middle. But now
But a sound
nobody gives a crap that I can play guitar solo.
sound creates frequency.
No, frequency creates sound.
So, and that's the way sound is measured,
Through the vibrations.
through frequency.
Right.
Okay.
So,
So
but you're
So it all.
I guess your argument that you like this lady's making that you're trying to sell me
I'm not. No,
is that if A was 444 rather than 440, what's that?
I said, "Why are you flicking me off?"
I'm
Is your
not.
point?
and I don't.
My grandfather did.
I don't know what the numbers are. Maybe I'm just saying sound in general. I mean,
And again, I'm willing to have that conversation, but I think the frequency dog doesn't hunt. So we could go down. I think that the ear, we have so much music in this world now, at this point, that it's almost like drugs. When you first start smoking pot, you can almost smoke garbage pot, and you're like, "Yay, this is fun."
we used to call that Youngstown Brown.
Youngstown Brown.
Ah.
Yeah. But eventually you need to move up to better and better stuff. Better and better cocaine, better and better heroin, better and better
Porn. whatever it
porn.
is.
Yeah. It's got to get more and more outrageous.
Yeah.
Sure. Music is accepted in our society. So we are just getting the radio, wherever we go, concerts, fairs, ski lifts and lodges, restaurants while we're eating. We're just like this drug is just constantly out there.
Yeah.
So we need more complex forms to listen to be pleasing.
And
I don't think you do, though. I'm going to argue that you're still pretty simplistic with your likes.
I am actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
And so it's not you're not going to capture everybody,
No.
but for the main part of society,
Right.
we've got to up our game.
yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
And part of that's because of sensory overload.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
But we agree on the tones or the sounds creating different emotion.
Well, I think that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Like-
Why do people cry when you play taps
Like you guys want to
at a
jump,
funeral?
jump, jump, jump.
All right.
See, they don't want to do it.
Are we going to hit this lady anymore?
No, we're done with her.
Are we done with her?
With the old lady, yeah. But you mean the lady that looks like Mrs. Doubtfire?
Do we got to
No.
fast forward to her?
No, yeah, we can play this however you want to do it.
All right. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
to Christian music? What level of concern should we have in terms of the popular culture of all the other things that appear in popular culture? And more so as believers, how do we respond in that music is perceived as, I guess, less threatening if they're listening to under the guise of Christian music? How do believers respond to that?
There's a couple of ways to think about this question, and there's one place where a lot of our contemporary Christian music is coming from, but really a lot of our worship music is actually coming from a different place. So if you consider the record labels that are all in Nashville, the contemporary Christian music industry, really that's just a business. It's run like a business. They're owned by,
Where does Chris
for the
Tomlin
most part,
live?
by secular companies, and that's
wanna
who
see him.
the higher ups
Nashville.
are answering to. So there's not really a theological standard in contemporary Christian music that people have to match up to. It's really just what's going to sell. So where the church goes, the music that's coming from CCM is going to meet the church with what they want. So they're not necessarily writing from a perspective of like, hey, let's give the church these theologically rich songs. They're trying to get on the radio. They're wanting. Now, I'm not saying that all the Christian artists have that mentality. There are some really great people in that industry that are full of integrity and doing a really good job. But what we have to realize too is that a lot of the worship music that we're getting into our churches is coming from, they're not really independent, but they're labels that have been formed by these major churches, many of which are coming out of what Doug's been talking about, which is the New Apostolic Reformation. A lot of them are coming out of Bethel, or they're in unity with Bethel. So a lot of that theology is coming into the worship music that we're actually singing in our churches. And so, Doug may have some comments on that as well, but I would just say, as far as how we approach quote-unquote Christian music, we need to be incredibly discerning and realize that not everybody who's writing quote-unquote Christian music is even a Christian. A pastor texted me that I know,
I think that's
who was at a
majority.
retreat
Yeah.
where there was a bunch of songwriters from Nashville that were writing songs to hopefully...
One of the fellows that I like to listen to and play guitar, he actually formed part of his career playing for churches in Atlanta. And he would just drive around. They would hire, if they need a guitar player, they just hire him. He wasn't necessarily a Christian.
Okay.
And you can find all kinds of interviews all over YouTube of people who worked at churches. They wrote songs, it's exactly what this lady's saying. But they're not Christians. They're not in a part of that fellowship. They're not a part of that congregation.
Just good at writing the song.
They're hired guns. And because they're there to create the feeling. They're there to invoke the feeling.
Right.
So is that good or bad?
I think it's bad. I think it's New Ageism.
It's what she says right here. I don't know what, but she says they're not giving the church theologically rich songs. They're just trying to get on the radio. And theologically rich songs, I mean, when you're singing worship to the Lord, the worship is in the mind being renewed and thinking on who God is.
Right.
And if those words are taking you down a false understanding of who God is, you're not worshiping. You're actually just, believing in false things, and so you're just kind of believing or trusting in a feeling.
Okay, so it's when you first got here, we were kind of goofing around. One of the songs that I think is fun to play, it sounds pretty. You can put ambient behind it if we had it available. There's multiple songs that do this, but they invoke that you're going to invite the Holy Spirit to come where you are.
Yeah.
Well, he's already there, man.
Yeah.
He rode with you in your car.
Yeah.
Like, why are we inviting him? I almost would think it's insult. It would almost be like if I come to church and people were like, you know what, why don't you come in?
Yeah.
It would be insulting to me.
Yeah.
Like, no, I came to church. I'm here.
Right.
And so we write these songs that theologically I don't think are wonderful, but boy, they sound good.
Yeah.
And they can get people swinging their hands, washing the windows, as
Yeah,
what's his
right.
name called
Tim
it?
Hawkins.
Tim Hawkins
Yeah.
called it.
Holding the
TV. Yeah, I mean we can get all these emotions.
Yeah.
But are we grieving the Spirit?
Right. Right.
Or are we? Is he like, you know what? I'll be back when you guys are done being stupid.
Right.
Or whatever.
No, I agree. And that's a lot of times, like even in my prayers, I like to talk about, God, make us aware of your presence. To me, that's an important part, that people understand that we are living, wherever you are, that's where God is. Like the story is when Jacob was running from his brother on his way to Laban's house. He lays down and he has this vision or this dream, puts his head on a rock, has this vision, this dream of these angels ascending and descending in heaven. And he wakes up and he says, surely God was in this place and I did not know it.
Watch this as you talk.
Okay. Surely God was in this place and I did not know it.
Because it'll give you the notes that you're speaking.
Okay. So think about this. What Jacob was experiencing is that he was in a place, he was running from his brother. He was in a bad place, but yet God was there with him. So if you think about that, when you go to church, God is there in your midst. You just have to be aware. You have to become aware that he's there with you. And I think that's key for Christians. Like, we have to understand, it's not like inviting God to come in so that we can be with him. He's here, like you said. That's the key.
Right. Absolutely. And
I think making people aware is being theologically accurate.
if you look at a lot of the old hymns, they were ripped from the pages of the Bible.
Right.
But people don't find that interesting.
I know.
And they find it difficult.
Right.
Or they don't speak that way anymore.
Right.
Or whatever the millions of things are.
So do you think some of this the new modern hymns that people are starting to go to or starting to develop, do you think that's a good trend in Christian music?
So I just try to, if there is a chunk of the song where I'm like, okay, that's scriptural, we can do that. Or I don't know. I guess I just go by, wow, I feel like the Spirit. There are songs where I just go, it's a good song, but we can't do this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know lyrically it's not great.
Right.
But my person, my body is like, man, it sounds so good if we could do this.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I have standing in the roadblock is I kind of, do I get spidey tinglies or not?
Yeah.
And is the words, can I sing this and go, all right, I know that's over here in the Bible somewhere. That's somewhere in Timothy. That's somewhere, in Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Walt. I know it's in there.
Right.
Or that was a Bible story or something.
Yeah. Well, this is, I just worked with the kids today in one of my classes, and I was trying to show them that if we all take a scripture text in context, we should all come to a pretty similar conclusion on what's being said by the author. So I had all the students, they paired up, and so there was like probably almost 14 different views, and they all pretty much came to the same conclusion, but it was in Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. Therefore, present your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and blameless to the Lord, which is your reasonable act of worship or service. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may be able to tell what is the good and pleasing will of the Lord. So we were talking about this, and the conclusion was, and after we talked about everything, and they were all kind of on the money about what's being said here, and then I gave them this sentence, and I said, would you guys all agree, after we just went through all this, would you agree that what Paul's trying to convey is this, that spiritual work, okay, your act of spiritual worship, so spiritual worship or spiritual service is how you live. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And so as soon as I said that sentence, okay, spiritual worship is living a transformed life, almost every single student goes, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Because ultimately worship is not about getting into a vibe or a rhythm. It's about understanding who God is and then acknowledging that and living in that truth.
It's purely works.
What's that? That's purely works-based, yeah.
Works-based.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, that for me, that kind of seals the deal. Like, I'm not... I like music. I enjoy some music more than other music, but I can take it or leave it too. I'm like one of those people that I can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, music is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But when the words are not theologically accurate, I think that's our key issue.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
I think hammers are beautiful things. When they're used to pound nails, they can build great buildings.
Right.
If you use them to crush skulls,
right,
you're a murderer.
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, yeah. So, like, I know you've been on this. Well, I don't know. I don't really know what you're on, but like, what was the drugs thing that we were?
My drugs?
No.
Were we on PCP or
No.
crystal
no.
meth?
What's the thing people are taking?
DMT?
Yeah, DMT.
Toad.
Like, we're always. The things that you are finding interesting are for, to me, like an escape.
Could be.
So, what are we escape? Like, what? This is where I had to go eventually on all conspiracy theories.
Well, we can go to the DMT thing really quick. Let's go there.
Okay.
Do you have any?
Do you
we
have
can
anything?
try?
No, I don't have any.
No.
But like, okay.
Do I think it-
so
did I-
if people are finding some kind of relief out of it for whatever thing that it's doing, is it focused on Christ?
Probably not.
So then, how is it an answer?
I think this is a theory that a hallucinogenic, whether it's DMT, the toad, Special K,
The breakfast cereal?
it could. No. It's like a horse tranquilizer right there.
Oh, okay.
You know, like you look at Sean Ryan, for example,
Yes.
did the DMT a couple times. Ultimately, he said it saved him from killing himself because he was going to. A lot of these veterans and stuff like that, they do this and they don't kill themselves. And a lot of them are trying to find Christ or pursuing Christ. And I find that part interesting because their life was kind of spared because they did this. And it's not Christ, maybe Christ-like, but they're going down a, you know what I mean?
Well, here's the
So they turned out lucky.
Could be.
Well, but here's the issue with that though. Like as I evaluate whether it's Sean Ryan, whether it's Jordan Peterson, all these guys, in their pursuit of Christ, they're finding themselves in a new age
I agree.
spiritual thing. You know, that's kind of weird.
But what if I agree it's weird and they're still searching because they're baby crawling at this.
Okay,
just
yeah.
like I am. And
But we gotta somehow get a hold of Sean and these guys and tell them that there's really only one way. Like you can't have Jesus with Buddha
I totally
and
understand
all that junk. Yeah,
But if he killed himself,
he wouldn't be having this conversation.
we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I'm with you. I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And I don't think it's the answer. I just think that maybe it spared one guy.
If that's the road they came down, then that's the road they came down.
yeah,
We all come down our own roads.
and if ultimately it led him to Christ fully,
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's the answer.
Well, you know, Jordan Peterson, he's been talking about this for a while, and psychologists are actually, trying to legalize this and get it used so that they can use these psychedelic drugs to help people with different types of issues. So
I think they're a gateway to something else, bad, demonic, at least for me. But
yeah,
they might have helped so and so,
right.
and he might be saved now. I don't know. That's not for me to judge. But ultimately, he's not
Right.
dead.
Right.
He didn't kill himself.
Well, let's face it too, like oxycodone and stuff like that. That's good for pain, but guess what? There's a ton of people that are totally addicted to that stuff. So
Yeah.
all that stuff is a problem.
I agree.
And you can't throw all medicine out, but at the same time, medicine again is, although it's man's attempt to try and to really relieve some pain of sin,
Yeah.
because that's why we're in the trouble we are,
And
is
you-
because of sin, and we just can't do it.
And you could go down that wormhole with every drug, to marijuana, to SSRIs, to
Well,
Hey,
we can
they-
take the shot.
they save me, they take the shot. I mean, ultimately, you got to find Christ out of it. But,
Yeah, right.
but the majority of these people that are going through all this depression stuff
Yeah,
aren't smoking weed and being like, hey,
right.
I'm either going to shoot myself or take this and try this.
Right.
And That's what's interesting to
Yeah.
me, that
And
they're
so-
still here.
Yeah, and some will take it and they won't shoot themselves, and,
And
they'll just live a longer life of hell.
Correct. Yeah.
Be
And it might have bought them some time to maybe hear the gospel at least. I don't know.
right. Yeah,
It's just a theory.
yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm good with it. It's same thing with like maybe A440 is really bad. You have a hard time proving it by me. I think I have a pretty solid case.
You
to
do have a
say
solid case.
Hunt somewhere else.
Yeah.
But if you want to sit around and talk about it, we can
Right.
sit around and talk about it.
Right.
What do we do with it now? This is what I've done with my conspiracy life.
Yeah.
Okay, we know about the Rothschilds, and we know about the island, the creature from Jekyll Island,
Yeah.
or our Federal Reserve, and we know about the people, the cabal, and the witchcraft from Blavatsky, and
Yep.
we know about all these things now. So what?
Yeah.
In the end, I had to ask myself, because I was absorbed in it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more. Okay, where does that go? And where does it? But eventually, you got to go. All right, now what? And there's there's nothing there.
No.
You can't. A lot of it, people are dead,
Yeah.
or it's over,
Yeah.
or people are ingrained.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
Yeah. And there's
Preach the word of God.
yeah.
Preach
Because-
the gospel.
Yeah, because ultimately there's no life in any of that.
Yeah.
Even if we know a lot about it, there's no life in
I
it.
think people have gotten so excited by these things. It's almost another deception. And here's how corrosive it is. You can have, dare I say, King James only.
Yeah.
So now we have a corrosive argument
Right.
trying to tear the Bible apart amongst Christians. We will tear the Bible to pieces amongst ourselves
Right.
to try and prove King James only.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that sound demonic by itself?
It
Just
does.
by itself,
It does.
right off the cuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, listen, if you're reading a Message Bible, it's pretty watered down.
Right.
Now, if you want to make the argument no one's ever gotten saved by the Message Bible, I think you're going to have a tough argument.
Yeah, I think so too.
But would I read it?
Right.
No.
Right.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, we get sucked into those wormholes. At the end of the day, we're not doing anything with them, and they don't enrich our lives. They don't. We don't fix. When it comes to the end, we don't fix anything.
Right.
Nothing's getting fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been a good discussion though.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Been fun.
I actually was tempted to go on YouTube and try to find 444 and see if I felt better.
Listen to a binaural beat before you go to bed.
No, dude. That might open me up to demonic stuff.
What are we
So-
calling a binaural beat?
So
Let's just look it up.
I'm not doing that stuff.
I don't even want to put my headphones in. Leave my headphones in and listen to it.
Dude, I will not do that. I'm
There's-
not opening myself up.
Wait, all right. Hurry up and explain it to me. I don't even know what you're talking
Because
about.
it's 3 a.m. that succubus and what is incubus? That's when they show up.
Dude, I listened to one before I came to a Christian, having that anxiety.
Ooh,
Dude,
40
am I-
hertz.
am
You
I-
can't even hear 40 hertz, really.
Do the lucid dreaming one for yourself.
Oh, dude, don't listen to that stuff. Stuff will make you satanic.
Well, that's the thing. We don't even know what these really do.
Oh, that's a scary face.
They can just say, "Oh yeah, this one's for anxiety," then it's programming it up.
Wow.
Ooh, this one's 432 hertz. This is at Old English. 432 hertz was concert key in England back in
Oh,
the
really?
day. Yeah.
Let go of fear and overthinking and worries.
By listening to this?
Yeah,
Whatever.
dude. But I listened to one time. I'll never forget it, in the bedroom. And dude, my vision was almost going like this.
Because of what you were listening to?
Dear courageous soul, you are appreciated.
That's demonic, dude. Yeah. Don't ever listen to this.
Why is it demonic?
Because they're trying to fill people's head with some kind of weird new age stuff.
All right, what you're hearing or what you're seeing?
No, what like the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So far, I'm not hearing anything scary.
But if you had Freddy Krueger coming up behind you with that music, it'd be scary.
Well, I'm waiting for an alien to jump out of a hallway now.
Because it's climaxing, right?
Yeah, but like anything else, it'll have to resolve.
Yeah.
It's creating tension.
Right. Man, on the way home, Brandon, I might just jerk the steering wheel.
I mean, it's creepy.
It is creepy. Yeah, I don't like it.
This could be the opening to a movie. Like, they could be having Mars on the horizon
Yeah.
as we're approaching it
Right.
6 months later.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff's in movies.
Right. It is. Yes. Which is
Since it's in movies, it's probably really good.
it probably is. Which takes you to that.
I'm trying to find these are the popular parts.
But that runs you back down the road of, do they know that this stuff affects people? And if it does affect people in a certain way, whether it's the frequency or the tone or just the sound.
People go back and play this.
Like, maybe do it to yourself.
Yeah, 'cause
By
it
yourself, relax, and see if it affects you.
I'm not, because I think that's like yoga.
I couldn't relax to this.
No, I couldn't.
There's
I don't think I
nothing
could either.
relaxing about this.
I don't think I could either.
This sounds like a bad movie score.
But it's like yoga. If I'm chanting and doing weird stuff and trying to open myself up to some kind of spiritual realm while I'm doing yoga, that's totally different than me just stretching. Because I do yoga poses and stretch and stuff to try and help my joints and that. But sometimes I'll pray during it, or I'll be watching like a Dallas Willard or something. I'm not sitting there worshiping something.
You know what's going to be amazing is some people are going to get to heaven and go, I don't like this place.
Yeah, I know.
Every time you say Dallas Willard, that's what I think.
That's what you think of? Yeah. He's a good dude. He's a smart dude.
This isn't where I wanted to go.
All right. What do you think? We wrapping this up?
Nice.
Oh, yeah, that looks really good. 4 hertz theta binaural beats. I don't even want to know what that is.
You can't even hear 4 hertz.
Obviously, that guy can. Look
No,
at him.
you can't.
He's out in some kind of space.
This is crazy talk. This is all people with a lot of time.
Too much time.
Too much time. All right, are we about done?
That's a good song. Too much time on my hands.
Who did that one?
I don't really know.
Who was that guy you played in the beginning?
Gavin Haddock.
What was the name of that?
Run Your Mouth.
Run your mouth.
That's a good song.
That's back in the day. Like, you keep running your mouth.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing here.
I'm gonna jam that out.
That's a good tune.
I like
Closing
it.
words. Closing
Brandon, you want to close the words? What do you want to do? So, is there any conclusions tonight, Brandon?
Peace and love and Leonard Skinner.
Peace and love and Leonard Skinner.
Nice.
If I had $1 for every time.
Sounds good. Zeke, you want to say anything to close us out? All right. Well, if you don't know, then I don't know either.
Don't. You'll pull her arm out of socket.
Yeah. And we don't want to do that.
No.
'Cause
She
then
does
we'll-
not want nothing to do with you, son.
Because then we'll have to put her on 444 hertz to heal her.
All right. We're going to exit out of this thing.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a good night. We'll till next time. Oh, jeez. You got a photo bomb right there.
Really?
Yeah. You want a photo bomb? Step in front of that camera. We'll see you. Go ahead. You finish out your thought.
Well, we got an error report.